Look at that, full throttle. There is zero torque stiff. That's the biggest benefit here. I just did a 400 wheel horsepower pull. The car didn't move, the steering wheel didn't move at all. That's insane. All right, you guys, we're back with the mini mad scientist Lorenzo and his Paceman JCW all-4. Last time I drove this car, we saw Lorenzo tossing on turbos, fighting off turbo lag in the pursuit of the ultimate daily driver Mini with all-wheel drive. I thought it was great. he could have stopped there. I would have been totally happy. It was at 285 wheel horsepower, plenty of fun. But if you notice towards the end of that video, Lorenzo kind of gave us a hint of where he wanted to take the car. And here we are a year later. This car is completely transformed. Under the hood, 400 wheel horsepower. Spoilers for you guys, I already drove this car in its current form very briefly. The other night, I went to go meet up with Lorenzo. We had a chat. Anytime I go to Lorenzo's shop, he's always got tricks up his sleeve. He's always got new things he's working on. And that's what excites me. Cars and how the power feels obviously feels very different if you're in the passenger seat. So he took me for a ride first. And he was like, oh, it feels fast, after I'm like trying to grab the holy shit handle. Yeah, buddy, it's quick. The car before effectively had the RPM Power R300 kit, so that's about 300 wheel horsepower, stock manifold, really good spool, and everything else was mainly factory. The first thing you have to do on any of these engines, the N18 or the N14, they start out as 1.6. The first thing you have to do is always fueling, so they're direct injection by nature. But what Lorenzo does is they make a beautiful port injection kit. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. Last time I drove this car, it was on pump gas, but it was also running water meth, actively running water meth in that system. That can get slightly annoying. So first thing here is it's still on pump gas and we are not running water meth unless the intake air temp is above 20 degrees. So it's just to keep the temperatures consistent and keep the performance of the car just consistent over a wide range of environmental changes that you might encounter. So that's the first thing. The second thing, this entire engine's been built. These engines are open deck from the factory. Lorenzo's closed this one up. It's a fully built engine. It's got 10-to-1 compression, custom pistons. So not only that, he's also boarded out very slightly. So he went from a 1.6 to a 1.7. 320 pound-feet of torque. And of course, Mini's all-4 system means that the torque split up nicely, where we're not going to be worried so much about drivetrain components here like axles and stuff like that, because effectively we're only sending about 160 pound-feet to the front, 160 to the rear. Let's see if it'll hook up. First gear. The car is insane. It is, the top end difference is remarkable. Oh, that is a truck in a ditch. It's icy out here, folks. That sucks. Not a good day for him. Another benefit of having an all-wheel drive Mini.
Hey guys, Lorenzo here at RPM Power. Marcus thinks I'm a mad scientist. I'm not. I'm just a average guy that is trying to do something good, especially if you have the opportunity to do it for an entire community. Why not? So what we have here today is a full transformation, it's got a very special motor, a very advanced engine preparation, and it features a new upcoming product, R400 TS. So it's the same turbo that made on the green N14 that I have. It did 520 wheel. So it's exactly the same turbo, it's just paired to the new redesigned hot side twin scroll, and it matches the factory twin scroll exhaust manifold. So the intention for this product is to make it as user-friendly as possible, less hardware that is needed to install, less plumbing, and to utilize the base fundamentals of this motor the way it came with the twin scroll exhaust manifold and the twin scroll turbo.
The car's still got a factory exhaust system on it, stock exhaust system on it, just with a 2.5-inch downpipe. It's got an external wastegate on this setup. Here, 300 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. So we've lost about 600 RPM of spool, but we've gained well over 100 wheel horsepower. Partial throttle. That's the thing. A lot of these big turbo cars lose kind of some of that partial throttle drivability, but it doesn't really kick you. And that suits the character of the Paceman itself. This car is heavy in the Mini world, very smooth. The thing with the Paceman is it doesn't show the speed. Like, I don't feel the speed nearly as much as I would in a front wheel drive, let's say R56 Mini Cooper S. All the noise is coming from up front. None of it's coming from the exhaust. Just so much air. It's just dumping in as much fuel and air as possible. These all four systems do not have proper LSDs. That's another thing that Lorenzo's upgraded. So not only is it enough that he's also ported the head, by the way, done some crazy work to the head to make this thing flow properly, but also Lorenzo's put in a proper OS Geiken or OS Geekin. So I don't know. There's a lot of debate online on how you actually pronounce. A lot of people say it's OS Geiken. I don't know, OS Geekin. Whatever it is, a proper LSD is now up front. And of course that comes with a much beefier clutch. So as far as the clutch, the engine, the differential is concerned, the car is overbuilt. If you're actually dailying this, the clutch might get a little bit annoying after a while, but it is far from an on-off switch.
The biggest issue so far that I faced is the engine management. There is some torque limitations, which doesn't allow me to push it as hard to break some drivetrain components. At the moment, it's capped at 320 foot-pounds of torque. Vehicle is equipped with a full E85 system, and it's not just an E85 where you flash either for pump or for that. It's a full flex fuel. However, I cannot truly utilize the flex fuel system because the ECU is limited by torque. So the same power figures can be done either with pump gas, either with E20, either with E85, because you're capped by torque. Something works in the background. I believe the ECU is on the edge of how much load capacity it can process inside the factory firmware. It's hard to say. On a good note, this package seems very reliable. I have not experienced a single issue with the all-wheel drive system.
The clutch is aggressive. It's got way more feel than it was before. I mean, modern Minis are so dainty and fragile feeling in feel compared to an R56. Those cars are so raw. And I think Lorenzo, in his mind, and like maybe it's subconscious, but he is so incredibly jaded. I think he's trying so hard to bring in a lot of that R56 feel into the N18 all-wheel drive platform here with the Paceman. And he's done it successfully. I think he should stop. I think he should stop here. I thought the car was great last time, but it's even better now, and there's basically no sacrifice in spool. Go from 3,000 RPM here, full throttle, by 4. The torque is flat from 4 to 7. Red line here is at 7,500. And peak power continues to carry. So we basically gained about 1,000 RPM red line here compared to last time. the response is crazy. Look at that, full throttle. There is 0 torque stiff. That's the biggest benefit here. I just did a 400 wheel horsepower pull. The car didn't move, the steering wheel didn't move at all. That's insane.
After learning the car and learning how far I can push it with torque, technically this turbo cannot even be fully utilized, and what is it doing? So the next change is we're gonna go with a smaller trim, try to bring the same torque figure but bring it in like 1,000 RPM sooner. The bottom end configuration and the work that went into the cylinder head, it made this motor be more alive outside boost. So when you're not in boost, this engine is still capable to pull this heavy car and this all heavy drivetrain. You're really underestimating how much more work this engine has to do to carry this huge vehicle in compared to a hardtop.
Traction. Wow. Yeah, it's another level. No Mini should have this much power, let alone a Mini that looks like this. Saw 22 pounds there, not even that much. It's pretty cool though. He's gone ahead and put these OZ Racing wheels on here, lightened it up a little bit more of a chunkier tire setup. I like it. The car rides phenomenal. It's still got, even with the all seasons here, decent steering feel. Now this does also have boost by gear, but the boost by gear works opposite here than it does in his front wheel drive cars. Now what I mean by that, in a front wheel drive car, you want to limit boost in first and second gear so that you can get traction, right? This is the opposite. There's not even really enough load in first and second gear to make traction a concern. Not only that, of course, it's all-wheel drive, but the spool is just pushed up just higher in the power band that by the time you're in boost, you're already high in the power band, you have enough grip, and you're already shifting into third or fourth gear. However, in third or fourth gear, the torque is limited down low because of those load calculations. There is a lot more load, of course, naturally in all cars in those higher gears at lower RPM. So it's not like a hardware thing. He's not trying to save rods here by limiting torque. Nice pop. Also a lot less pops here with the current setup. It is on KW V3s, by the way. Great riding car. It's a lot more isolated than the R56 Cooper S. It's just a more comfortable daily, and when I look around the interior, this feels basically the same as any brand new Mini you drive off the lot. They haven't really changed much. It's got heated seats. JCW here comes with Alcantara on the steering wheel. Shifter feels good. I told Lorenzo this the other night too. This car could use a weighted shift knob or something. The throws are nice. It's not too short, it's notchy, but like kind of a bit of BMW slop going on here. It's nowhere close to the GR Corolla or the Integra Type S. My point is Lorenzo is positioning this as a kind of a value proposition when compared to a brand new Mini, what you could get even with a manual and how much power you can get. It would probably still be about as much as a brand new Mini, the most powerful Mini you can buy brand new. So the choice is yours. Is this the most powerful or quickest all-wheel drive Mini with a 6-speed? I don't know. If you guys have or know of another all-wheel drive 6-speed Mini that's more powerful, that has more than 405 wheel horsepower, please let me know.
This kit is a simplified version. It's going to have a friendlier price and probably will be just as capable as the previous R400 for most users. We on the stage, we're just trying to get as mileage as possible to validate reliability on a long term, but hopefully to have this product available sometimes after Christmas.
You can hopefully expect a nerdier video. We're gonna dive into a lot more of the tech specs and what went into developing specifically like the cylinder head, and of course the bottom end and how Lorenzo builds these, and of course where he's going to take this in the future and how that kind of compares to the R56. So yeah, if you guys want to stay tuned for that, hopefully we can drop that in about a week from when this video is released. Thanks again, Lorenzo.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Very cold day out today. I mean, we survived. Only one moment when traction control almost kicked our ass. But yeah, you can follow Lorenzo, of course. All the links are in the description. We'll see you guys soon.